This is the exact website layout used by dozens of successful startups, and in this video, I'm going to break down each of the 10 sections, starting with the perfect hero. Nearly every single startup I analyzed followed the same structure. Nav, big headline with supporting text, a call to action, and a visual or interactive demo of the product. What surprised me most about these heroes is that they were all centered, even if the rest of the website wasn't. But the reason every single startup follows this structure is because they need to convey the benefits of their new product quickly, and big bold text with a demo is very hard to ignore. A perfect example of this is June.so. They've got a simple nav with the menu centered and a big bold benefit statement with some supporting text. Then they've got an option to get started for free and a video demo. This is exactly what you want in a hero section. It's well laid out, simple but still beautiful, and extremely effective at getting you engaged with the product. Right underneath the demo, every single startup I analyzed had some form of social proof. Most of the time it was logos, but sometimes it was awards, product hunt ratings, or testimonials. What was really interesting about studying these was how many startups used each other's software. So if you want to build a social proof section like this, try reaching out to some other founders to give your product a try and get some feedback. Because the reason startups include this social proof so high up is to let you know that they're legit and that other people are already using it. Resend.com does an amazing job of this. They actually stack two kinds of social proof back to back. The first is investor social proof. They're backed by Y Combinator. This is kind of like having Harvard or Stanford on your resume. It's a huge boost, but they also have some really great companies they're working with, and you notice they put Warner Bros up front, probably because they're the most well known, but this social proof section really elevates their status in my mind. Underneath the social proof, we get the benefits. These are broken up into three sections. The first section I call the big benefit, because almost every single startup has a full width section dedicated to their main benefit. Everyone does something a little bit different here. Framer and Cycle both have animated screenshots, Contrast has a push to repurpose button, Authkit opts for a beautiful animation, but they all have a big benefit because this is the place to show visitors what you're capable of. And obviously you don't have to follow this template exactly. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a great resource to help you develop your own style. But if you want a really great example of the big benefit section in action, Jitter.video executes this perfectly. The layout is super clean, the animation is amazing, and they use different effects to tell a story and bring visitors along for that journey. So this is a fantastic way to quickly convey the main benefit of using your product, and as an added bonus, it's relatively simple to do. Right below the big benefit, we've got the two-column benefits. Nearly every single startup will have some variation of the two-column benefits section because it is such a staple in web design. But that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Scroll bars, text reveals, and animations can all make this section look really unique and modern. This section is so important because it's where a lot of visitors naturally skip to when they want to learn more about your product. It's also a really great format for showing off your main benefits in a really visual way. A fantastic example of this comes from ChronicleHQ.com. They've got this really cool scrolling effect where the cards on the right shuffle as you scroll down the page. It shows you how easy the benefits of using Chronicle are in a really visual way. They also have this awesome section where you can change the graphic on the right to be either a desktop or phone display by clicking this button. Again, even though you see this kind of layout everywhere, it doesn't mean there still aren't creative ways to make it look amazing. The last benefit section is what I call the stylized benefits. These are cool and unique things about your product specifically that you want to show off in an interesting and creative way. Outerbase has this awesome UFO effect, Gitness has this flashy 4X animation, and MyMind showcases their AI search with an embedded video. This section is really where you leave your mark as a designer. You have complete creative freedom to experiment with a layout that works best for your product. What makes your product unique, and how can you represent that to visitors in a way that makes them want to use it? Here's a great example of how to show off what makes your product unique in an interesting and creative way. This is Reflect.app, and they've got this cool reflecting graphic surrounding an interactive demo of their product. So you can click a button and see in action just how your request is reflected back by the AI. This is your chance to get creative and do something really interesting just like Reflect does here. Right after the benefits, we want to show off the actual features of our product. And since there are probably a lot of features, we use bento boxes, which are off-kilter layouts designed around a grid. Bento boxes are great when you want to convey a lot of information without taking up a lot of visual space. Since features aren't as important as benefits, we want this section to be a lot more compact. But the feature section is important because a lot of visitors just want to see if you have one specific feature, like collecting payments or integrating with React. Cycle.app does a fantastic job of this on their bento features section. They've got a few quick blurbs about a large number of disparate features that really packs a lot into a small space. I also love that all of these are interactive. I can click different parts of the layout to change different things. I think it just shows how simple and easy Cycle is to use in a really fun and creative way. After we've shown visitors the benefits and features of our product, a lot of startups are now opting to talk about their mission. Missions or manifestos on the homepage have exploded in popularity within the last year. These are a great option to include if you're trying to disrupt an industry. Rejoice, for example, is a branding agency that only takes on 5 clients per year and accepts equity as payment. Because they're disruptors, they display that mission proudly on their homepage. Same thing with Rise Calendar, My Mind, and a ton of other startups I analyzed. Having a mission statement isn't necessary. Plenty of startups that I analyzed did not have them, but it's a great option if your product disrupts a broken industry. A perfect example of having a mission section on the homepage comes from Fold.money. They framed their mission as a goal, which is to separate anxiety from money, which a lot of people can naturally relate to and get on board with. They also have a link to read the full manifesto, so people who feel connected to that mission can read more, but it doesn't detract from the rest of the homepage. Getting closer to the bottom of the page now, we've got testimonials. Almost every single startup website I analyzed had testimonials close to the bottom of their page, around the 7th or 8th section. That's because we're getting closer to asking visitors to sign up, so we want to reinforce the idea that our product is loved by a lot of people. There are a couple classic variations we can do here, like the big quote that Ahrefs does. We can also link to a lot of public testimonials like June has on their homepage, or you can lay them out in a grid like Slight. Another great example of a testimonial section is on Basecamp.com, where they have these sliding cards with highlighter effects on the most important parts. This is like having the visual weight of the big testimonial while also showcasing a lot of testimonials. So this is a perfect example of a fantastic testimonial section, which is super important because everything we've been designing so far is to get visitors ready for what's next. Because right underneath our testimonials is where we put the call to action. This could be asking visitors to sign up, start a free trial, or present them with the pricing. What really surprised me the most about this section was that since most startups offer a free trial, they don't actually have the pricing on their homepage. The most common layout I saw was actually an inner container with a button to sign up. This is the section you're going to find out how good your homepage was at actually driving conversions. You want to use a tool like Hotjar to track how many people are making it to the section and actually signing up. In my own personal experience, I know that I've made very small changes to the layout or the wording of a website that has resulted in drastically different conversion rates. So an amazing but simple version of this comes from Contrast.io, where they've got a stylized candy colored container inside of a larger section with an option to either sign up or book a demo. If your startup is going after both consumers and businesses, this could be a great option. Otherwise, a section that has pricing might be more effective. Finally, we have the footer, which is actually really important if you want a streamlined homepage. That's because you don't want confusing stuff like careers or documentation or help center links anywhere on the front page. You don't even really want it in the top navigation either, because that will decrease conversion rates. So more and more startups are turning to the footer to contain important information that's not as important for sales. Opal.so has a classic example of this. You can see there are a ton of links down here that you would not want to put in the top navigation because it would detract visitors from going through the homepage and seeing all the benefits of using your product. Once you become a billion-dollar company and the people that are visiting your website are there for information about specific details, you could move some of this stuff up to the hero, but keeping the hero menu simple and putting added information in the footer is a great way to design for 99% of startup websites. So that is the perfect startup landing page, but if you want to level up your design skills even more, you should check out Designspo.co. Designspo.co is our private community where you can post your work and get feedback, watch weekly web design case studies that break down the best websites on the internet and show you exactly what makes them so effective, and we give you the exact fonts, colors, and breakpoints that these websites use. So if you want to get started for free, click the first link in the description below.